Welcome listeners to the next topic of our discussion, that is your mass extinction, and it is in the series of our discussion on fundamentals of geology, and this is in continuation to our discussion under paleontology. Obviously the principles of paleontology have has been discussed earlier. So now we will be looking at your one of the most significant thing in the study of geobiology or paleobiology or even your paleontology is your mass extinction. So that means it is simply mass extinction refer to the extinction of different plant and animal species. And we have also, when we discussed at the beginning of our lecture series, when we discussed about geologic time scale, we have seen that how this mass extinction processes have been helpful to demarcate the boundaries between different eras, be it between your for example the era between your the Cretaceous and Tertiary time periods, and for example your Permo-Triassic boundaries, and based on this large events of extinction, these boundaries have been demarcated, and they are, you can say, one of the kinds of records of our geologic past. So the events of any mass extinction will give you an idea or record of the geological past, be it environment, be it the species that were present, and other constraints, for example the habitats of those species, or even you can say the kind of food habits, nutrients of consumed by those species. So whenever there is a mass extinction event, it gets recorded, or it got recorded in our geological past. So we will be looking at a few mass extinction events which are of global scale. So the idea again that a mass extinction event is defined as huge loss of life form and rapid decrease in biodiversity globally over a very short geological time period. So the time in here we are concerned will be, for example, a couple of years maximum, a couple of decades, but the loss of the biodiversity is huge over a very short time span. So that zone get of kind that zone is getting marked by this kind of huge loss of your biodiversity. It is generally associated in time with major environmental changes and considered as ecological crisis or biodiversity crisis. It can be caused by one of or a combination of the followings: impact or a series of meteoritic impacts, volcanism, climate change, global climate change, lowering of sea level which reduces available habitats for marine species, anoxia events, especially in the transgressive spread of deep anoxic water into the continental shelves, methane hydrate release resulting in extreme global warming. So now if I look at the major extinction events in our geological past, the first one was the Ordovician Silurian extinction that happened around 450 million years ago. Then comes the Devonian extinction which happened around 365 million years ago. Then one of the largest event of your mass extinction was in Permian Triassic or the Permo-Triassic boundary, or it is also referred to as the Permian Triassic, that means PT extinction, that happened at about 250 million years ago. Then you also have the Triassic Jurassic extinction that happened about 201 million years ago. Then again a major mass extinction event, that is Cretaceous Tertiary, or also referred to as the KT extinction, at about 66-65 million years ago. So, and the sixth one that is presently undergoing is the Anthropocene extinction. We will be also dealing with that. So, the first event, again if I look at this chart, I can say that about 444 million years ago, this Ordovician Silurian mass extinction happened due to intense ice age, falling sea level. Due to this, 85% of the, you can say, biodiversity got lost. Then at again 383 million years ago, at late Devonian time, due to large volcanic activities, drastic drop in oxygen levels, 70% of the existing, at that time existing biodiversity got lost. At again about 252 million years ago, at the time of this transition from the Permian to Triassic time period, 96 of that existing biodiversity got lost due to intense volcanic activity at or near the Siberia of the present Siberian region. At again 201 million years ago, at the Triassic Jurassic boundary, 80% of the available biodiversity was lost, increase in greenhouse gases that led to global warming. And the final one, that is the final one, means before the present extinction event, we will be talking about that. The final one in terms of the sequence, the fifth one, that happened about 66 to 65 million years ago, that is also referred to as the Cretaceous Paleogene or Cretaceous Tertiary extinction, that led to the mass extinction of 76% of the biodiversity that was present at that point of time, and that also marks the complete extinction of your dinosaurs possibly due to a large asteroid impact near Mexico peninsula. And the sixth one, that is believed to be presently going on, also known as the Anthropocene deformation, that we are currently at the brink of a sixth mass extinction, and only one to have been induced or brought on by human beings. The earth is experiencing the end of multiple species caused by climate change and unending human activities. So now, if I look at this major mass extinction event of Ordovician Silurian extinction, this has affected Brachiopod, Bryozoan family, trilobites, echinoderms, corals and bivalves. There are two, those conflicting debates are about the KT extinction. Here, what is now proposed till now is that this Ordovician Silurian extinction happened in two episodes or in two pulses. The first pulse was the glaciation event pulse. Extreme cooling and falling of sea level, that means regression, took place, leading to loss of habitat of continental shelves and vanished temperature sensitive life forms. Harsh sea level changes initiated deep oceanic currents that brought toxic elements and nutrient up from deep oceans. So you can look at this graph as well, and you can see that how your temperature has been changing for the, you can say, last 500 million years. So this is again in the Pleistocene and finally into the present Anthropocene era, or the Anthropocene period to be specific, and these are the changes that you can look at, that there is how this temperature is falling down during the Permian time to your Carboniferous to Permian time, and finally Permo-Triassic time. Also at the Ordovician and Silurian time, there was a drop in temperature from the average temperature that was, or that should have been prevailed at that time. So due to this glaciation event pulse, this led to this extreme cooling and falling of the sea level. And followed by an anoxia pulse due to sea level rise and increased nutrient content, algal blooms have depleted oxygen level in sea water. So your oxygen, dissolved oxygen levels have decreased very fast in this anoxia pulse. So what has caused this glaciation event at this time? So till now, again, the understanding of this glaciation event is that rapid growth of terrestrial plants and microphytoplankton, which consumed atmospheric carbon dioxide and hence diminished the global warming and commenced global cooling cycles or global cooling event, and volcanogenic sulfur from the volcanic activities and simultaneous weathering has sequestrated the carbon, hence enhanced the cooling. So it led to obviously the death of several, or the mass extinction of several species. Then again a very significant event, or the mass or one of the again a major mass extinction event is your Permian Triassic extinction, also referred as Great Dying Event, because it happened in quite one or ranging from 1 to 3 pulses of event, leading to the death of 95% of the life forms, means the 95% of the biodiversity was lost at that time. So, the main culprit is believed to be the period of anoxia, an increase in carbon dioxide caused by eruption of the volcanoes that were present in the Siberian trap at that point of time. Now it is obviously a trap, a kind that you can see. So, one of the largest known volcanic event which has poured more than 7 million square kilometers of basaltic lava. So, now whatever you see in Siberia mostly are your basaltic trap basalts. So, obviously it is giving you an evidence that there has been a large volcanic event which has poured more than 7 million square kilometers of lava, and elevated concentrations of heavy metals such as cadmium, arsenic, lead and especially mercury indicates involvement of your volcanic volatile. So, also there was huge release of the volatile materials from this lava, especially in this part of Eurasia, which is obviously referred to as Siberia. So, here there was this trap basalt event like that of the similar to that of the Deccan trap region or the Deccan trap basalts. It is very similar to that. So, this led to obviously the Permian Triassic extinction. The key points to remember and the main factors and causes of this Permo-Triassic extinction, that extraterrestrial episode and its impact was very short and had very minimum role in the extinction event, because there is global iridium anomaly. No such anomaly has been found. So, it is believed that there was no large scale meteoritic impact at that point of time. Then isotopic signatures reveal main extinction event was of very short period. So, this complete extinction of this 95% or 96% of the biodiversity, existing biodiversity, happened within a very short period. So, it was a very quick process of your mass extinction. Then uranium, lead, zircon dates from 5 volcanic ash beds from the global stratotype section and point from the Permo-Triassic boundary that has been measured from China define this age at your this exactly at the Permo-Triassic boundary. So, it increased atmospheric carbon dioxide and other volcanic gases has prompted ocean acidification that has severely affected the growth of calcium carbonate, and that is why the marine organisms couldn't develop skeleton anymore. So, that is why they also got extinct during this Permo-Triassic extinction. Only those group of brachiopods and ammonites had survived which were equipped with efficient circulation system and with light calcite requirement to prepare their shell. So, only a group of brachiopod and ammonites they survived during this mass extinction event. The rest of all biodiversity was kind of eradicated from the face of the earth. So, now what we get? We also only get the remains or the fossil remains of this kind of widespread biodiversity at that time. Some interesting facts about that actually led to the that finally marks the extinction, but before that Permo-Triassic extinction, some of the species, for example in Permian time, was referred to as the land of large insects and fly. So, you can see the dimension of this large insect and this fly even in comparison to a normal human being, which is about 1.5 to 1.6 or maximum 1.7 meters tall. With respect to that human being, you can compare the height or you can say the dimension of a fly. So, there were flies as big as your you can say half a meter. So, you can say that possibly that was a scary place at that point of time. So, but imprints of Permian dragonfly, this one revealed they were around 2.5 feet large and weigh around half a kg. So you can think of that a large fly of that dimension, half a meter, that is quite big for a fly to exist, and because we can compare the size of the fly nowadays with respect to that, you can see how huge it was in comparison to the present day. And some large insects like this, land insects like this. So there was a time of, you can say, insects and flies, and that was pretty scary because of their size of those flies and insects. Now generally we are not that scared of your flies and insects. There are some other problems or diseases related to flies, but just by looking at a fly, generally nowadays you are not scared of any fly, but at that time you can think that how big it was. Then there are also various theories that are related with this Permian Triassic extinction. So your various theories of extinction relates to an impact at Australia. Shock gorge was found from the Bedot High area of Australia. Obviously the most accepted one is the volcanism that led to the formation of Siberian traps. So Siberian volcanism is the most accepted one, followed by, you can say, methane trapped in ice as methane hydrides released by methanogenic organism increased global warming, as well as it was poisonous, and combination of all these three with your anoxia event means your dissolved oxygen was extremely low or got depleted in the water that we see on earth. Then the next, or again a very big mass extinction event or major mass extinction event, was the Cretaceous tertiary extinction event, that is also referred to as the KT event, and that also demarcates the boundary between your Mesozoic and your tertiary time periods. So also known as the Cretaceous and Paleogene extinction event, which vanished approximately 76% of the life forms on earth. So at that time, you can say again the complete biodiversity, out of the complete biodiversity, 76% or even more than that was lost, and this boundary also demarcate the extinction or complete death of the dinosaurs. So initially the main theory was only or this kind of extinction event was thought to be brought about by a meteoritic impact near the Gulf of Mexico, and that is also known as the Chicxulub crater, and having a dimension of about 180 kilometer from means, and the meteorite that was responsible was thought to be in the dimension of 10 to 15 kilometer in the diameter. So you can think simply how big it was, that the 10 or 15 kilometer diameter of a meteorite that impacted on the surface of the earth at this place, that is now referred to as the Chicxulub crater near the Gulf of Mexico, and this is simply an artistic impression of this large meteoritic impact leading to this Cretaceous tertiary extinction event. So again, just by looking at the fossil remains of the dinosaurs, you can have an idea that how big they were at some point of time. So here you can see this is the scale, 3 meter or 9 feet, whichever scale you can think of. So this is a simple comparable example or the height or dimension of a modern day elephant. With respect to that, you can see how big were the dinosaurs were. So your Cretaceous tertiary boundary is characterized by the presence of iridium element, which is mainly present in extraterrestrial bodies like meteorites. So you can now say that definitely if there is an iridium anomaly that you can record, then obviously there has to be a meteoritic impact at some point of time. So earth was the land of huge dinosaurs. Regarding earth was the land of huge dinosaurs during this Mesozoic time, and in the finally in the end of the Cretaceous time, this meteoritic impact wiped out the complete dinosaurs from the face of the earth. So you can simply compare, there is a paleontologist who is just resting on this huge dinosaurian bone. So you can have an idea, or you can simply say that if this is the size of one bone, what was the size of the overall dinosaur species. Then also there are evidences from presence of shock quartz and very high pressure temperature minerals like coesite, sishovite, and some presence of diamonds and tektites that were proposed from the site of this crater, and geophysical evidences like some gravity anomaly pattern which has been showing a much lesser gravity with respect to the surrounding zones. So from that also you can have, and this is also in a circular to, you can say, subcircular nature. So you can directly say there definitely there was an meteoritic impact. So the impact theory states that a 10 to 15 kilometer diameter meteorite impacted with a power of more than a billion times the energy of the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Such huge impact would had been caused a mega tsunami of more than 100 meters height, wiping everything on its way, and also that relates to an global, you can say, seismic activity, an earthquake of more than 12 magnitude, that is the maximum in the Mercalli scale that we have discussed earlier. And gases and dust can cover or might have covered the whole earth, causing darkness that led to the global warming and obviously the death of the dinosaurs. The other theory of this Cretaceous tertiary extinction is related to the timing of the formation of the Deccan basalts here in India. So this is the large Deccan igneous province that is present starting from Gujarat, parts of Madhya Pradesh, the Maharashtra, and even parts of Karnataka. So this huge area, you can see that it now has evidence of this Deccan large igneous province, which is nothing but your again the trap basalts, like comparable to that of the Siberian trap, like that was responsible for your Permo-Triassic extinction or the Permian Triassic extinction. Similarly, people have postulated that this scale, the mere scale of this Deccan trap basalt is also that's because it is very similar to that of the Siberian trap. Just by mere scale, by looking at the scale of this large scale volcanism, people have postulated that it is also possible that volcanic activity was responsible for the extinction of the dinosaurs, or was the main extinction factor during this Cretaceous tertiary extinction. So because the timing of this volcanism is extremely comparable, or you can say very similar to that of the timing of the extinction of the dinosaurs. So at the same time, about 66 and 67 million years ago, a series of volcanoes erupted mainly in the Indian subcontinent. Today the Deccan trap basalt, an area of 5 lakh square kilometer, but it is believed that it was originally it was more than 15 lakh square kilometer. Now with the process, a million years of denudation processes, it has reduced to the now till where we can see its exposures. So the basaltic lava outpouring in a very short span of time also might lead, and this volcanic theory will be very same or similar to that of the volcanic theory that was proposed with respect to the Permo-Triassic extinction. So apart from the asteroid, the theory of the asteroid or the meteoritic impact, this volcanic theory is also proposed by a few group, and many people say that this is also the Lonar Lake that is present in Maharashtra. It also is the evidence of a meteoritic impact. Some people earlier also used to say that it could be a volcanic crater, but now it has been more or less established that it is an impact a crater that formed on the basaltic trap. So the here the host rock is again the Deccan basalt, but there has been an impact of 1.2 kilometer diameter, this impact, and this have been again recorded from the evidences of shock breccia and shock metamorphism that are indicative of meteoritic impact. Like we discussed when we discussed about different types of metamorphism, we discussed about shock metamorphism as well. So, they are definitely indicative of this meteoritic impact. So, the host rock again is basaltic in nature. So, here is a, you can say, plan or top view of this crater lake, and this has been now has been declared as a geoheritage site by the government of India. Then this related to this volcanism of this Deccan Trap, what is the theory that effects of this volcanism led to massive release of volcanic dust, sulfuric gases and carbon dioxide in the environment. Volcanic dust might have blocked sunlight and reduced photosynthesis drastically. Carbon dioxide coupled with other aerosol have increased greenhouse effect and global warming, and also leading to sulfuric acid rains. So, this combination of processes have also might have led to the extinction of the dinosaurs from the face of the earth. So, again this theory of volcanism can be also applied to this idea, or you can say coincidentally there was both this phenomena that occurred on two sides or on the two parts of the earth. One in the western hemisphere, and there was a meteoritic impact, and in the eastern hemisphere, that is in the Indian subcontinent, the meteoritic impact happened in the Gulf of Mexico, and in the eastern hemisphere this large scale volcanism happened in the Indian subcontinent. And there is a possibility that these two phenomenon, that was one going on in the western hemisphere and eastern hemisphere, they kind of completely changed the environment around the globe, leading to this complete or this major mass extinction event. So, it is also possible that these two events happened simultaneously, coincidentally, but it could have happened simultaneously as well. And then there are other theories which are considered to be associated with these theories. Multiple impact theory, there is again the report of a large crater, further you can say means in the offshore regions of the Arabian Sea, it means offshore from your I mean western coast of India, and rapid sea level regression, marine mass extinction and climate changes, and collective causes like I was mentioning, impact that happened in the western hemisphere, and a volcanism that happened in the eastern hemisphere, and due to this there is a complete change in the global climate, leading to what we now refer to as one of the major extinction event of the Cretaceous tertiary time, or the KT extinction. So, here I would like to conclude my discussion on the few major extinction events. There are also some minor extinction events which can be recorded or can be identified by the extinction of a group of or a certain type of species, but obviously they are related to some kind of environmental changes, some short simply over a short period of time. But these are the major extinction event that kind of led to the extinction of more than 60-70%, even 90% of the biodiversity that was present at that point of time. So, here I would like to conclude my discussion on your mass extinction. Thank you.